So you've probably seen the headlines, maybe heard the buzz about Cardi B's big legal win recently. But, like with a lot of these high-profile cases, the real story, the one with the human stuff behind the flashy headlines, that often lies way deeper. Today we're doing a deep dive right into that underlying drama. We're looking at the civil lawsuit brought against Cardi B, the Grammy winner, by a security guard, Ammani Ellis. The allegation was assault.
Yeah, it was one of those cases that right from the get-go, you knew it was going to grab attention. But what really came out during the trial, I think, was how much it showed about the kind of unique pressures that public figures deal with,
Mm.
especially when, really private moments suddenly become very, very public.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to sort of pull back the curtain on this whole legal saga. We'll definitely unpack the specifics of the allegations, yeah. But maybe more importantly, we want to explore the really unique, kind of surprising circumstances around the incident itself. We'll get into the court stuff, the proceedings, and then really look at the verdict. We've been digging into a news article that laid out the whole trial and the outcome pretty meticulously. And our goal is just to help you navigate the facts, connect those dots, and really understand what this whole thing tells us about, well, celebrity privacy, the legal hurdles stars face, and that often very public search for justice.
It's a fascinating look, really, not just at the legal side, but at the psychological tightrope these public figures walk,
Mm.
and how the courts try to untangle these really personal disputes when everyone's watching.
Okay, so let's unpack the core issue, what actually brought them to court. Security guard Ammani Ellis claimed that back in February 2018, there was an argument at a doctor's office. And during that argument, she alleged Cardi B scratched her and spat on her. I mean, that sounds like a really intense, very personal kind of confrontation, right?
Oh, absolutely. And the stakes, they were just astronomical. Ellis
Yeah.
wasn't just looking for, an apology. She went after a staggering $24 million in damages.
Wow, 24 million.
Yeah, $24 million for alleged scratching and spitting. That's a huge number. And it kind of signals two things right away. On one side, it suggests, a claim of really devastating impact on Ellis's life. Like she testified, she talked about medical bills, serious emotional suffering, losing income. She claimed the incident left her scarred, cost her job, and basically ruined her future career prospects.
That's a massive claim, suggesting harm far beyond just the physical interaction.
Exactly. I mean, imagine feeling so wronged, so affected, that you think your suffering adds up to that amount. But then, like you said, there's the other side of the coin, the person being accused.
Right. Does a number that high immediately make you wonder if it's maybe a strategic move? Trying to leverage the celebrity's name?
Well, that's the question that always hangs over these kinds of lawsuits, isn't
Yeah.
it? We can't know Ellis's exact motives, obviously. But for Cardi B, facing a demand like that, that's immense pressure. It forces this choice. Do you settle fast, just to make the public scrutiny go away? Or do you fight? Fight what could be a long, expensive battle to clear your name. And the bigger the number, the more intense that strategic choice gets for everyone involved. Reputation, money, it's all on the line.
And this next detail, for me at least, it just completely shifted how I saw the whole thing. I'm curious, from your perspective, how much do you think the revelation about Cardi B's secret pregnancy really played into things? Maybe the court's view or even the jury's feelings? Because here's where it gets really interesting. During her testimony, this crucial detail came out, something nobody knew before. At the time of the incident, February 2018, Cardi B was secretly 4 months pregnant with her first child with Offset. She hadn't even told her own parents yet. Forget the public.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that changes the entire dynamic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just some personal detail. It's like the psychological center point for the whole confrontation. If you connect that to the bigger picture, this intense need for privacy, for secrecy, suddenly it makes perfect sense.
Totally.
She was out in LA for work around the NBA All-Star game, right? A time when she'd be super visible. And the doctor's office apparently had been kept shut to other patients that day, specifically to protect her privacy.
That level of precaution really tells you something about her need for discretion at that moment.
Absolutely. So you've got this combination of extreme personal vulnerability, being 4 months pregnant, keeping it secret, and then the constant kind of invasive pressure of public life. It must have created an incredibly tense atmosphere. You can just feel it. It shows you that impossible tightrope public figures walk between wanting total privacy and being under constant scrutiny. In that context, even a small interaction could just flare up, Turning a routine doctor's visit into this scene of perceived threat and high emotion, it really makes you think about the boundaries of celebrity personal space and the crazy lengths they sometimes go to protect it.
And that need for secrecy, that vulnerability, it really sets the stage for how the incident itself played out, according to Cardi B's testimony. She talked about the moments leading up to the argument. She remembered Ammani Ellis, the guard, following her up to her fifth floor appointment. But what really seemed to trigger things, based on her account, was hearing Ellis saying her name into a phone. That immediately made her think she was being filmed.
And that specific detail, it's really compelling. It speaks to that almost paranoia that can come with fame, this constant worry about being filmed, recorded, having private moments leak out. You can make celebrities incredibly defensive.
So Cardi B's testimony suggests that the perception of being filmed, potentially having her huge secret exposed, was a major trigger.
Yeah.
It really highlights how the court process has to dissect these tiny interactions. Subtle movements, what someone thought was happening, that becomes central. It's not just what happened, but what did each person believe was happening?
And what she believed was happening led straight to a confrontation.
Uh.
According to her testimony, she asked Ellis point blank, "Why are you recording?" And Ellis reportedly said something like, "Oh, my bad," almost apologetically. But things escalate from there. Cardi B testified that, quote, "As we were arguing, she kept backing into me, walking into me." So it paints this picture of things deteriorating fast in what was probably a confined space with her already feeling vulnerable. And that brings up a really critical point about personal space and perceived threats, doesn't it? Especially when privacy is such a huge concern and one person is secretly pregnant. Even if Ellis didn't initially intend any physical contact, the act of backing into someone during a heated argument, especially someone feeling protective and private, that could easily feel aggressive, like a threat to their space, their safety. So the court isn't just weighing objective facts, it's trying to weigh these really charged perceptions against the events, trying to grasp the emotional context of every single interaction.
Right. And through this whole legal battle, Cardi B's defense never wavered. She admitted they argued, sure, but she strongly, vehemently denied touching Ellis at all. She even told reporters, quote, "I will say it on my deathbed, I did not touch that woman." I mean, that's an incredibly powerful statement of innocence, isn't it? Leaves zero room for doubt about her position.
It really is. That level of conviction from her is quite something. You know, for a public figure, a celebrity at her level, the pressure just to settle a case like this, make it go away quietly, it's usually immense. It saves time, money, bad press.
Often the easier route, you'd think.
Exactly. But she kept calling the case frivolous, and she didn't just deny it, she actually vowed to countersue anyone who tried similar things against her in the future. This refusal to settle, even with all the public attention and the cost of a trial, it really shows a celebrity determined to fight for her reputation, for her truth. She said she felt super completely innocent, and clearly that feeling, that moral stance, it outweighed the usual calculations celebrities make in these situations.
And fight she did.
Yeah.
So after the trial, which was spread over several days, the jury came back with a really clear outcome. They completely cleared Cardi B of all the allegations, found her not liable. And what's even more telling, maybe, is that while you only need 9 jurors to agree in a civil case like this, all 12 jurors agreed she wasn't liable. A unanimous decision.
Yeah, unanimous. So what does that really mean, beyond just a win for Cardi B personally? Well, that unanimous decision from the jury sends a pretty powerful message. It suggests, a clear lack of convincing evidence to support Ellis's claims, at least in the minds of all 12 people who heard it all.
Right.
And outside the court, Cardi B was, well, visibly celebrating. She repeated her warning about similar lawsuits. She even shared a very human cost of the trial, saying she missed her kid's first day of school because of it, which kind of grounds the whole high-stakes drama,
It really does. Adds that personal touch. And the trial itself, like you said, it got huge attention online. Live stream testimony went viral.
Oh, yeah, people were watching.
And Cardi B even managed to find some humor, joking about her wig changes during the proceedings.
Right. A little bit of levity in a pretty sterile environment, I guess.
Definitely made it a bit of a public spectacle, a cultural moment online, which only amplified the verdict's impact. But surprisingly, perhaps, the legal story isn't quite finished. Ellis's lawyer says they plan to appeal.
Ah, okay. Well, that raises an important question of closure, doesn't it? The possibility of an appeal means this whole legal saga could drag on. Real closure for everyone involved might still be a ways off. An appeal usually focuses on things like procedural mistakes or maybe misinterpretations of the law during the trial rather than just rehashing the facts.
So it's more technical.
Generally, yeah. But it also keeps reinforcing the role social media and public opinion play in these big celebrity trials now. When testimony is live streamed and goes viral, it creates these narratives, these perceptions outside the courtroom. And those perceptions can circle back and influence the public conversation, maybe even the legal discourse down the line. It's this a complex mix of legal facts, public feeling, and this ongoing pursuit of what each side sees as justice.
It really is complex. So, just to recap our deep dive today, we've walked through the serious assault allegations Ammani Ellis brought against Cardi B. We uncovered that surprising, really crucial context of Cardi B's secret pregnancy at the time, kind of the psychological key to the whole thing. We looked at her unwavering defense, calling the lawsuit frivolous, and finally, the jury's very clear, unanimous verdict, clearing her name.
Yeah, it's a story that really peels back layers on the complexities of privacy when you're famous. It shows the kind of resolve it takes to fight for your truth in court with the whole world watching. And it highlights those blurred lines between what the public thinks and what the legal facts actually are, and how that can shape someone's story, their career.
It absolutely does. And it kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. How might this case being so high profile, and with Cardi B calling it frivolous so loudly, how might it affect future celebrity lawsuits? Will it maybe deter people thinking of leveraging a famous name for money? Or perhaps will it just draw more attention to the unpredictable drama of these star-studded legal fights? Could it even encourage more celebrities to fight back instead of just settling? It makes you wonder about the power dynamics and whether this verdict might subtly shift how these things play out. Something to think about anyway.
Definitely something to consider. That intersection of fame, money, and the legal system is always evolving.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope you feel a bit more informed, maybe a bit more curious about what goes on behind the headlines. We'll catch you next time.